What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Visions of the Force. Welcome to Project Potter, guys. My name is Kyle, your host. Thanks for checking out the channel, guys. This is our Star Wars Visions and Review. This is episode 7 of season 1, guys. If you haven't seen the show before, welcome. We do a recap, we do a favorite aspect of the episode, a favorite character, and a score out of 10. So, guys, if you've seen the series before up to this point, you know it's kind of quicker episodes because this is mostly quicker content. I've loved this series for the most part. There's been a couple ones I didn't like as much. This is the second episode, guys, from Trigger. Trigger, I guess everyone loves them as like an animation studio. I guess their style is like famously amazing, and they did episode 3 of the Twins, which I didn't love. And so the style I thought was pretty cool, but I didn't really love the story. I wasn't crazy about it, but this one I think is a lot better in terms of style and story, although there's still some issues with it. So kicking it off here, guys, this episode is following a young Padawan and his master, and it's kind of similar to like an Anakin and Obi-Wan Kenobi, where they're going through, the Padawan talks about how it's more peaceful than he imagined, and he's like, he wants to get in on some action. It's like, careful what you wish for, dude. And then the master is there, and he's like, oh, I sense a dark presence. Guys, let me tell you that I'm really benefiting from watching these on my, you guys can't see them, but back here is my Roku wireless speakers, because the sound is amazing, dude. Skywalker sound absolutely crushes it in this entire series, but it's just so awesome. Every time a lightsaber comes on, every time there's like a like that dark force presence sound, you know what I'm talking about, like a whoosh sound almost. Anytime the ships go by, all of that stuff is amazing. So it really feels like a theater experience. But I'm kind of sidetracking here, guys. Basically, they feel a dark presence. They go land on the planet. The master tells the Padawan, you know, these people on the planet are very shy, and they're like, you know, I can't feel a dark presence since we've landed. He must be hiding himself. And the Padawan's like, well, why don't we split up? He's like, you go search, or you stay in the ship and I'll go search the mountains. And the master's like, do you just want to search the mountains because there's a higher chance that you'll run into this guy? And he's like, no. And then he goes over. The Padawan runs into this elder who just like, they're looking for him, and then he just like kind of reveals himself, where he throws his cloak off. He's got some nasty yellow teeth, but he's like, oh yes, he's like, I'm looking for someone strong in the Force, and he's like, I must not be you. And he's like basically putting the Padawan down, and he's like, oh yeah. And then the elder takes out his 2 red lightsabers, which are like forged as swords. I don't like this personally. It's kind of like messing with the classic lightsaber style, which is what a Padawan has, because he takes out his blue lightsaber, and that looks really cool. And they get in a fight here, but yeah, the red swords just don't, I don't know, it's I thought I would like it, but I'm like, it just feels wrong to me. Like, it doesn't feel like a lightsaber, it just feels like a colored like katana or something, or like, you know, like 2 little scimitars. So I like the traditional lightsaber, but that's just a personal preference. But they get in a fight, the Padawan is kind of overmatched, and then like he gets the elder strikes him, and what looks like a killing blow, but I guess he's just knocked down and he's okay. I thought he was gonna like cut him in half, because it like pans back behind him and he slices him, and then it looks like his top half is just gonna fall over, like a Darth Maul situation. But he's fine, I guess. So he just gets cut and then he goes to the ground. The master senses this, and then he goes and shows up. He's very silent, like he's like almost like a Liam Neeson, like Qui-Gon Jinn. He's like, you know, really powerful, but he doesn't say much. And so the elder is like this eccentric, like, oh, I've been like looking for someone strong in the Force, and he goes to fight him, and then the master eventually takes him down. It's a pretty cool scene, but he ends up taking him down because the elder goes like to move somewhere. The master like goes down, turns his lightsaber off. It's actually really cool. Goes into like where his chest is and ignites it through him. So he puts like a hole through his heart, which is really cool visually. But the fight itself I thought was a little underwhelming, because they didn't have like too many crazy sequences. There's a couple cool like back and forth, but like we hear about 75% of the episode that there's this all-powerful Force, and this elder, no, the disturbance in the Force, and then he just kind of easily defeats him. The elder, as his dying wish, takes out like a remote detonator and blows up, I think, his own ship, or it might have been their ship. I'm not really sure if they're stranded on the planet, but I thought it was originally their ship, but then I think it's his like ex-fighter. I don't really know. So sorry guys, I didn't look that up beforehand, but basically the Padawan tells the master like, hey, well, at least you defeated him. And he's like, well, just so you know, he's like, he was well past his prime. If he were in his prime, that would have gone way differently. And I'm like, okay. And then he's like, I didn't defeat him. He's like, time defeated him. And I was like, I guess so. The Padawan's like, okay. But he's like, that's how life is. He says, you know, I'm going to get older and get weaker, and you're going to get older and get stronger, and then you'll become weaker. He's like, that's how the galaxy works or life works. I'm like, I guess, dude. But yeah, that's pretty much, you know, they say goodbye to the people, and then I guess they get on their own ship, but I don't really know, but that's pretty much how the episode ends. Okay, guys, so my favorite aspect of this episode has got to be kind of similar to, I talked a couple episodes about, like being in touch with the Force. I love when the Master is like, I sense a disturbance in the Force. That's so cool to me, that someone is so evil and so dark that it's like, it's a disturbance in the Force. Like, he's like, oh my god, there's something so evil that I need to, like, I can sense it. Just the idea, I guess, of like the Force presence being so powerful was sort of my favorite aspect of this episode, of being like something that someone can feel. And like how he talks to the Padawan about how he's like, did you not feel that? And he's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, oh, he hasn't trained enough to sense this disturbance, but for him it was like someone just like clapped right in his ear or something. So yeah, I think that was probably my favorite aspect of the episode. Hey guys, my favorite character for this one, it's got to be the Master. The Master Jedi, I guess. He was just awesome, dude. Super calm, cool, collected. He reminded me a lot of the teacher from My Hero Academia, like super cool, really cool character design. He's like a little scruffy. He's like very bottled up. He doesn't really, like, he's not eccentric. He doesn't speak his emotions really. The Padawan is like young and eager. And I just love the Master's vibe. I thought he was really cool. He felt super powerful. And I was like, oh, why is this guy so powerful? Because he's just kind of a normal Jedi Master, and not that Jedi Masters aren't powerful, but it's like, what's up with this guy? But they made him have a really cool aura, and I think he was just the best character in this episode. Okay guys, that brings us to the score. I will say I like this episode a lot more than I liked the first Trigger episode, the Twins. So this one definitely stylistically, story-wise, was a little bit better. I still had some issues with it where like they build up the Elder to this big thing. The Elder just reveals himself. He's kind of just like an old man that just wants to get in one more fight. I was hoping he would have like really dark powers, like morph into something, or like just be more powerful instead of just being like, oh, okay, well, they said like time slowed him down, but he didn't have like a heart attack or anything. He just, I guess, was slower because he was older. I don't know, but then he was super quick against the Padawan. So like he was going really fast with his swords or sabers, and then now he's like he can't catch up to the Master. That was kind of weird. I do like the visuals though. The grass in this episode was incredible. Like it looked so good. I couldn't believe it. The sky was cool. The sound effects were great. The problem with the story I had was that it took way too long to get to the cool parts. Like there was too much dialogue. In an episode that's only 15 minutes, it was like the first like 6 or 7 minutes roughly were like just dialogue between them like trying to figure out the mystery, but it's almost like they were setting up like a big mystery, like a half-hour 45-minute episode, but it's only 15 minutes. So like they were like, oh well, you know, there's a slain animal over here, and like, oh, this is a clean cut, this must have been something ferocious. But then they just find the Elder like right after, and I'm like, it's like they tried to build it to this big grand story, and then they're like, oh wait, we're running out of time, so just have him reveal himself. Like they didn't find the Elder, he didn't kill anything, there weren't like gruesome deaths that led to it. He wasn't like holding the people hostage. Like, I don't know, it just felt kind of off for me. So this is an 8.4 for me. I liked it. I thought some shots were beautiful, but I think the story kind of just seems a little simple, and it's like this is where this show gets into some tough territory where you can make a breakneck 15-minute episode where it's amazing action the whole time, which is the ones I like more, and then you can make this where it's like you're trying to build it as like the suspense, like thriller mystery, but then you spend half the episode just finding the Elder, and then the fight itself is like 2 minutes. So yeah, not a bad episode by any means, but it's just not my favorite one of the bunch. Okay guys, that's it. That's an episode of Visions of the Force, episode 7, so we only have 2 more left, guys. So thanks for checking out Project Potter. I do appreciate you guys stopping by. If you did like the content, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing. Go check out the other content on the channel, of course. And until next time, guys, may the Force be with you.